connect you to the next available agent.
Somebody's coming or what?
I don't know. I was like, should I have my phone on the table or should I just like put
I
it in
have
my lap?
phone, iPad. We have this.
I don't even know what I'm going to use my
mixer.
phone for. You know, I'm going to put it on the ground.
That's always a good idea.
You lost your phone for 24 hours in the last day, so
Yeah. I'm a changed person.
lost. You put it away. So
Yeah, it's true.
how we can do it? Teach us, master.
Just put it away, man. Put it away.
Was it a good experience? Did you like it?
Yeah, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I spent 24 hours in a cabin in the woods in Kielce. Kalisz.
But not this Kalisz.
Like an hour from here. And just sat by the river and journaled and thought and sat in silence. And it was a new experience for me. And it was really difficult to be alone, actually. Like, difficult not to want to do something. And
Would you recommend it to anyone? Like, for who you recommend it? Like, if, for example, I don't know, I have some emotional problems and...
I'll answer it for you. We all have emotional problems.
Okay, everybody has.
Here's the difference, dude. If you don't feel compelled to do it, there's no sense in me saying, yeah, you should do it. Like, who gives a shit? But if you're interested in exploring yourself on a deeper level and you have an opportunity to rent a cabin or find a space where there's no distractions, you're just in nature, you're just by yourself, and you choose not to distract yourself and you choose to just exist in the moment, there's a lot you can learn from yourself, surprisingly. And I think so often, I know for myself, I'm always like looking up to people I admire and respect for to help guide me through the world or whatever, you know. And it's pretty cool to find out that like oftentimes you have your own answers. And for me, that's been exploring silence and exploring like my own deeper thoughts.
Is Kropascam working? Like, yeah?
Yes, it is. I think so. I hope so.
What is the reaction of people? Like, write us down. What do you think about Kropascam?
No one sent me a message that they were excited, and but
we need a fisheye cam. That's why. Dude. Something fun or funny where it's like every time you pop up, it's like I don't know. You're in.
So you want me to be funny here? Man, I'm the smart guy.
Well, then
the only smart guy here.
Then you should have glasses on. You're supposed to be. If you're smart, you have glasses.
Okay, smart guy. Smart guy. How often do you go alone somewhere, like for holidays or to rest or to think about?
How often do you feel like you want to take time for yourself?
I love to be alone, and it's not a problem for me when I sit by myself. I'm not bored. I always have thoughts in my mind.
Like
sometimes.
what?
Okay, but at home. But like, have you ever went somewhere alone, like for holidays or for 24 hours to the woods?
No. In Warsaw, no, because I have my dog and we go always together. So I can't her like a real person.
Does it count, like if you go with the dog or no?
You
don't need
interaction
because it's a different energy, like from.
That's right.
Dogs are like.
Like
people.
There is no right or wrong answer. Okay.
But it's better to go without the dog, yeah? Without any other energy or
better is subjective. Honestly, like it's just what you want out of the experience. And it's the same with like you step away from your phone for a little bit and you notice like when you come, for example, I didn't have my phone. I didn't use it for 24 hours, which is a small amount of time, 24 hours.
Imagine how difficult it was to like get some hour when we record this podcast. Like it was incredibly hard to get an appointment with him for last 24 hours. True. But we made it.
That's
We're
right.
here.
We found a way. We pushed through it. I hopped right back on, and responded to everyone.
But if you ask me if I would do it today and go alone to sit close to the river, I would prefer to sit with my friends there, make some campfire. Yeah. And that would be more pleasure.
If I can be clear, I agree. Like, I would have much rather have invited you guys or invited some friends.
So why didn't you?
Because I felt compelled. Look, God damn it. Why does it always have to be like...
We were waiting so much for the invitation to go by the river. Like, look, I can leave my phone. No, I have to have my phone.
I don't want to make this like such a big
My wife is pregnant. Dude. I cannot leave my phone.
Yeah, no, you need to have your phone, dude. And you shouldn't be in the woods with your friends.
And then I kill the vibe by the river.
No, I just to be completely honest, we don't need to dive too deep into this, but like I am in a stage in my life where I am learning things about myself on such a deeper level, and I'm so interested and compelled to learn more. And it's a part of my evolution. It's a part of like, I know it's really trendy to talk about like self-healing and therapy and like all these, let's say, buzzwords, but man, I mean, I'm just in a stage where because I've taken time to reflect, I've realized like, man, subconsciously, we're just operating on the same systems of like survival mechanisms in the way we respond to people and the way we respond to ourselves. And everyone, like everyone's, oh, God damn it, everyone's journey to self-healing looks so different. Okay. And like, for me, I'm fully accepting that like right now I'm in a stage of, man, I've been in Poland for 3 years. And for the first time in my life, it's like, there's 6 or 5 months of just darkness, and you wake up and there's no sun and it's cloudy and cold. And that's been so new to me. And so it's forced me to be alone on a level I've never experienced, because when it's sunny, I'm out with my friends, or I'm at the beach, or I'm doing something, I'm outside, I'm doing. And so the last few years, it's been like that the doing has gotten smaller. It's just you in your apartment. And it was easy for me to say like, I had moments where I was depressed, or I had moments that I wanted to just do something or distract myself, or I should stay busy. And I finally like stepped back from that. And I just thought like, let's lean into this. Let's get to know ourselves a little better, you know?
But would you recommend this to anyone, or you need to feel it that you need to go? Like anyone has to feel this deep inside that, okay, I'm ready to go alone somewhere to think about myself and do this to heal myself? Or
I mean, dude,
this is for everyone, like
100%. It is for, in my opinion, it's like learning to expand your awareness only does good things for yourself, for others. And so it's easy not to do that, because to your point, you were like, I'd so much rather just like be with my friends. And like, yeah, why? Because it's hard to just be alone. And so when you start to ask yourself, like, why is it so hard? Like you said, you like being alone. Me too. I love that 10 minutes where I'm driving home in the car and I'm just sitting thinking or listening to music. I love it too. But like really being alone, really being by yourself, like really learning to comfort yourself. These are all like really new things to me as I explore longer periods of time of like just allowing myself to be. I note like so many things come up because, you know, it's like your brain is like, we can constantly distract ourselves. And when you like close your eyes and there's no more distraction, you start to filter through, and eventually your brain's like, okay, I don't know what to, and then the kind of deeper things just slowly arise. And for me, it's just been like a world of discovery, and maybe in some way my extreme addictive personality comes out and I'm like, fuck, I want to learn more. I want to understand more. So I'm exploring that right now.
So we can assume that you're a smarter guy after this weekend.
I wouldn't say smarter. I think I'm as dumb as it gets, you know, and in some ways that's what makes me smart. You know? I don't know what that means. I don't even know if it made sense.
You should say some Latin motto right now. Cogito ergo sum or something like that.
What is that? Latin motor?
Yeah.
Latin motto.
Motto, like the sentence.
Motto.
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 Together, guys. Motto.
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 We say motto.
In Polish, it's motto.
Motto.
It's not probably even in Polish.
I mean, what about
worldwide?
What about you, dude? You ever feel like
half of my life I was alone. Like we don't have to speak about half of my life because I was single till I was 30. You know, almost all the time. So I went around the world alone. Like I was traveling alone around the world. So
and so you asked me,
it was like maybe not the best travel of my life, but one of the best like months because it was like 22 days probably. So
and I want to ask you though, because I think we all recognize the difference between like alone.
Yeah, I was not alone. Like I was not traveling through the desert, and I didn't meet any other people. Like I've met so many different people like around the world in different cities, but I was alone, like without any friends. Okay, I met them in Hawaii, but yeah.
And I'm not trying to compare our situations by any means, really, because I still think whether you're alone, literally in silence, in darkness, with a blindfold on, just existing and listening
Yeah.
to what comes up, and also having the courage to say, I'm going to go alone and travel. They're both beautiful and insightful. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. Like my best way of healing my mind is when I go to the mountains, and I just like get so much tired during this
Just climbing hills.
Yeah, climbing hills.
Yeah.
Even with my friend, we are not speaking so much, while going up because it's Kropas was with me also.
One step at a time.
You don't speak. You don't speak so much. You just go there, and okay, you can speak when you reach the top, and the journey is like in silence. You are with your thoughts, and you enjoy the views, and you think about many different things. And this is some kind of meditation for me, like in a strange way, but it is. And I really rest there. My mind is resting for sure. So this is my way of meditating and spending some time alone. 10 minutes, 11 minutes. We promise that our intro will be 10 minutes today, and we will answer your questions. Finally, the same questions which we had prepared for last episode.
Yes.
But we didn't have time to
First of all,
answer.
congratulations. I mean, that was really nice of you to see the time, to notice. Let's just cut it off.
Yeah,
and
because we can speak like this for an hour, or
That's right.
even for 2. But this is not the
This is hotline.
yeah.
We need
This
to
is,
turn
this
it
is
on
not the
finally.
scenario of this podcast.
Yeah, let's answer questions.
We need to answer some of your questions because you will stop to watch any of our episodes.
Or
so,
if you love it, let us know, and we'll never answer questions.
and we will never do any episode again.
No. But I did enjoy the fact that we just like talked and ranted, and
Yeah,
that was really fun.
I think from time to time, I don't know how much more episodes we will record because the season is flying, and we have like 2-3 months more.
Still have
2.5
months for sure.
2.5.
No worries.
And
Excellent.
if we grow a big enough following and people love it, we will definitely find a way to do it virtually.
Yeah, Taylor will invite us to US, and we will fly there, live with him in his and his
Huge
family
house. My huge house,
ranch
yeah.
on his ranch, and
That's right.
we will ride horses and all this stuff. Okay, the funny part is that the first question is from the guy who
my
sent
God.
this question. He was the first guy to send us question,
Yeah.
and I don't know if he's still watching following our hotline podcast, because if I'm him, I wouldn't. Like I would stop. I would like watch 3 episodes. If I was the first guy to send the question, I would stop like after 3 episodes because I would lose my hope.
It's embarrassing for us to admit that he was the first person to ask a question, and he's
and because you have to know that I have every time the list of the questions that we can answer in each episode, and I have the name of the guy who sent the questions, and he was every time on every episode he was on the list.
On the list, that's hilarious.
Just like in the end, and today he is the first guy.
I love it.
And also let's hear the question because it's a little bit combined with what we did with him. Unfortunately. Okay, let's hear the question.
Hey guys, I'd love to hear you discuss the involvement of the people that we cannot see during the TV games. Like, for example, the 14th player in a roster which is not performing on the TV matches at the moment, but he does participate in each training session every day. And those people like physios, assistant coaches, scouts, do they affect the end result of your team? What do you think? Let me know. Love your show and keep on going.
Michał Szpak. Big applause for Michał Szpak for arriving in our
we
show.
say we have like a phrase for this.
No, this one. This one.
Yes, we have a phrase for this in basketball. It's called the 6th man of the year.
6 man, yeah.
It's like the guy who comes off the bench. He is our 6th man of the
Michał
year.
Szpak is our 14th player,
14th
for sure.
player, yeah.
Sitting like half of the season behind the...
Waiting for his moment.
And here it is, baby.
Yeah, it is. And for
Big time player.
for the final, it's not a final, but for the big game, he's there to play for his team.
It's a good question. Interesting question.
What do you think?
Well, it was a little broad, like 14th player and like a scoutman and coaching staff and all that, manager, all that kind of stuff. They all have their own different roles. I really want to know your opinion because you guys have been doing this in Poland for so long. You've seen so much of it. Let's talk first about like staff, before we get to players, let's talk about, I think we should break this into like staff, organization, and then we'll talk about like players who don't always play or don't start.
Okay, so
for you, like,
I would love to start with how I was raised by the coach, like my first coach, and what is the mentality that he raised our group of the guys when we started playing volleyball. And anytime any of us was trying to think for a while that he's better than the rest and he's more important for the team than the rest, because he's making 12 or 15 or 20 points for each game, and some guys are not even playing, but they're just cheering. You know, when you are young, you are just making all the cheering by yourself for your team. There is no audience, and you just keep up helping your teammates who are on the court. So anytime this guy thought that he's better than this guy who is not playing at all, we had this like really deep speeches of our coach that he was telling that if you have the light over the ground, which is like showing the light, there is always like one guy deep down under the ground, like how to say, like a hamster, you know, like rolling
turning the wheels,
so this light can shine. And this is one sentence that I remember for all my life. Like, for me, all the people who are not now on the court, they are like making this light shine for all the year, for all the practices, for all the job that they are doing outside of the court, like in the locker room, organizing the games, preparing our bodies for the games, the tactics and everything, like spending hours in front of the computer, like watching the actions of the opponent, like preparing us to perform. The guy who is booking the hotel, the travels, like without any of them, we cannot win. So that's why, for example, we didn't speak, I think, about it in any of the previous episodes, but that's why also I think that when there is some kind of bonus money for the achievement, let's say for winning the cup, usually this is like some amount of money for the team, you know, and normally like president or somebody is asking coach and the captain to share the money, like how do you think who should get how much money. And my philosophy, probably also because of how I was raised by these coaches in the youth team, is that everybody gets the same. Like, doesn't matter how many minutes you were on the court, or maybe you could even not be on the court, you should get the same share from the extra money, because this is the work of the team and nobody is more important than the others. This is my philosophy. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah.
I obviously think the same, because we are in the same team. I always see it like how we share the prize money. It's always the same amount for everyone. So that's the basis. If there is always some kind of frustration if you don't play so much, if you work hard like every other player and they are in the newspapers, on Instagram, they are faces of the posters before the game, and you just sit on the bench and help from the back. But if you know your role on the team and you know that you're here to help and you're also important, that's how you can deal with it.
And I think we've been in both situations. Like, I was also the 14th player, and before it was more difficult, because right now we have 14 players in the game team, in the rooster. Rooster is a 14
roster.
Sorry.
Yeah. Rooster is a chicken, huh?
The other one.
Yeah, but let's make it clear. Like, roster is like all game squad of the team, or just the starting 6 and 7.
Say that again. The roster?
Roster is like all 14th players?
Yes.
Okay. So before, the roster was just 12 players, and the team for practice was 14 players. So when I was starting playing pro here in Poland, I was the 14th player, and
you couldn't even wear a jersey.
I was not wearing the jersey. I was like practicing with the team. I was 4th middle blocker.
That's tough.
And I was like sitting outside the court, and only when some guys had injuries, I was in the roster. So and I remember when we were playing some young championship when I was, I don't know, 13 or 14 years old, and I was also the fifth outside hitter. and I was outside of the team. I was I had my drum, and I was like the only guy on the sports hall with the drum and cheering for my team, you know. And I was wearing the shirt, but I was not. I was sitting on the audience, and I was just cheering for my team. And I have the medal also from this competition, and it's the same. Like I felt like I won this medal. So I think this is okay mentality to think to be the part of the team, even if you are not scoring 30 points.
Can I say something too? Because I feel like, first of all, I definitely agree with everything we've said, and I want to play a little bit of what we call devil's advocate, you know, which is like the other side of things. Because right now I feel like we're giving the answer that it's like everyone kind of knows.
Obvious, and everybody wants to hear this answer.
Everyone knows, and it's true. And I think just to like expand on that, like how can we provide some more insight? For example, you talked about like hotels and like managers and stuff have to deal with a lot. Like I had like guys who have an injury, then they have to contact the doctor, set up an appointment, like maybe they have to take you there, or maybe they have to pick you up when you come back from someplace.
Yeah, this is what you said before in some previous podcast, that because you are injured, it doesn't mean you don't practice or you practice less. You practice more and you spend more time on the gym, working more with the physio.
I'm talking about the managers. So like Kuba for us, you know, like all the work, Natalia, like all the work that goes into setting up an event. Yeah. Like there's so much that no one cares about. They just want to see the volleyball, but there's so much detail. And I've had managers from clubs before that like were pretty lazy, you know, where it was like very clear they were lazy or just like we're bad at communicating. And like here, luckily, I think personally, it's like pretty spot on. Like they do a really good job of like, if you need something, you ask and they respond, which is nice. I mean, that's my impression.
But I have a good follow-up question.
Okay.
Because for example, like we are 3 guys in a completely different situation. You are not injured, didn't play for a long time. You are a starting 6, a few days maybe. And you are a starting 6 player who is like great in every game, and I'm a bench player. So every one of us has a different situation in the same team. And let's imagine that we won some kind of medal like next week in the Challenge Cup.
Actually, today we are playing the last game. It's Tuesday. Today we play the last game.
After this episode, we go to warm up.
You gotta stop talking like that, dude.
Why?
Because it's confusing.
It's blowing your mind. It's Tuesday.
But let me ask the question.
Let's right now visualize us winning. Ready?
Yeah, we have to be quick. We have to be quick because we are going to Monza in 1 hour.
That's
my question. Are you happy? And in scale of 0 to 10, how are you happy?
Okay, so let me
getting this medal.
Great question, because you're gonna laugh what I'm about to say. I recently recorded a vlog. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see if it ever makes it to the internet so you guys can watch it. It was really fun to do, actually.
Ooh, there is a vlog.
There is a vlog. Yeah, I recorded a vlog. We'll see if it makes it out there. But the last thing I did, so I vlogged the entire game day where we beat Monza in the first round of Challenge Cup finals. And at the end, I went into my car, and like the last scene of the vlog was me just like talking about the truth of how I felt. And how I felt was, man, it felt really good to like be a good teammate from the bench. It was easy for me to be like, this is why I do this. This is why I fly halfway across the world to be in Poland, is to play in matches like this, and I can't play. And it killed me. But it was also a unique opportunity to like, I was filming and screaming and like so excited and yelling. Like I had so much fun being a part of the game, even though I had to sit, I couldn't even wear a jersey, which sucked.
So we feel you deserve this medal if we get it.
It's not about deserving it. My point was like, on one hand, I am so grateful and excited for like, I can't play. So that means other guys play, you know, or other people have a chance to step up. So you think about a guy, Boro came off the bench. I don't know if it was this match or the last one, and like came in and served an ace, you know, like guys who is the 14th player who comes in and does something great. And it's like so exciting to see. So to your point, you want everyone winning. Like if you win and you're the star of the team, you want everyone to experience the same. We all did it together. And it was this weird combination of like, selflessly, I'm so happy for everyone who stepped up and helped us winning this game, everyone. And then like, you drift, the camera turns this way and it's like just me, and it's like, and I'm also like devastated.
Okay, but you know? how would you feel if you can play, if you are in the starting 6 and you start let's say the final of the cup, and you are not doing your great job, it's not your best day.
Yeah.
and your teammate, like your good friend who is on the bench, is changing you, making substitution for you, and the team is winning the cup. How are your emotions?
This is such a good question, Andrzej, honestly.
How do you feel? Because I had this situation. I will tell it about it later. But tell me how would you feel? Because you played shit game and we lost the first set, and you were the only guy who went out from the court.
First of all, this has happened to me before, this situation, and it's devastating because my ego is so strong. I want so badly to play the best in the finals that it kills me, and I'm pissed. But I've had enough experience in my life to go off the bench, like calm myself, like I have the tools to like calm myself down and be like, all right, this is the reality. It's easy to talk about. It's easy for us to say the right answer. As we all know, it's really hard to truly embody that in the moment. So the honest truth is, yeah, I would be so pissed. But I've had enough experience to know, like, the next game, like you play 10 good ones and 1 or 2 are bad of the 10, maybe, you know, it's just like a part of the job. And the more you play, the more you mature in the sport, the more you realize, yeah, it sucks. We all know. I'm guarantee you, whatever your story is, I guarantee you were pissed, dude. How could you not be? We all care so much. It's a strange thing being on a team sport, right? Like all of us individually, I want the MVP award. I want to like be the hero to make the winning ace for us to win. Like we all want that. And at the same time, when we see our teammate do it, we're all excited for him. You know, but there's this like individuality, this unspoken individuality that exists in all of us as we play a team sport. And the more you play, I think the more mature you start to respond, and that shows, you know? So that's what I would say. I don't know if that even answered fully your question, but
yeah, I had this story and with my good friend, and he was a starting 6 guy and I was a bench player. So maybe if I tell this story, most of you guys would know when it was, and that you will like combine all the
connecting
plots,
the dots,
connect all the dots. But we played the cup final, and obviously he started, and he was not playing so good, and he went out. I changed him, and the main part is like we are good friends, like not normal friends from the team, like good friends. And I changed him, and we won the cup. And like everybody is celebrating, and after in the bus, like we are celebrating, and he's sad, you know. He's like sitting there, like he's not together with us. He's just sitting there alone, and he's sad and angry and whatever. And I come to him like, man, like why you are so sad? And he said, because I played bad. And like something broke inside me that time, because I could understand like, okay, my philosophy is, I told you my philosophy about how you should act in the team and what should be the thinking. And he is my good friend. So I was expecting that he would be happy like for me, you know, to going to playing good game, and we won the cup, and it's for the team and being great success. And this guy won a lot. Like it was not the only final he played.
Yeah.
And I was so disappointed about this attitude, you know, of him. And yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you this question: how would you feel in this situation? Because I was the bench player going inside and changing my friend.
I mean, dude, I've been the same this last summer with the national team. We played against Japan in the last match, and it didn't matter. We both qualified to go to the Olympics, but I thought I had deserved more chances to play and didn't get those chances. And like all of us who are the 14th guy, we think we should be playing, like, you know, and I get my chance and like just wasn't great connect. Like I thought I played okay, but it wasn't incredible. And I get taken out, and Jeff Gendrick comes in and he like blocks, like instantly commit blocks and gets some guy, and like, you know, and I'm on the bench just like pissed. I'm so pissed. We are qualifying. We're going to the Olympics. We're in Japan. I had such a great time there, and I'm pissed, you know, that's the truth. But also like those, it's so weird. Like they both exist, right? At the same time, there's the part of me that's like, that should, like, oh my God, so lucky he just, you know, like, and then I have to be like, and I'm also stoked for him because I love Jeff, you know, like I love the team that we have. Like truly, I love the guys on the national team. So it's like this weird, we've talked about this in other episodes, you know, but what's really tough is like, imagine you're the 14th guy or whatever, you come in for a guy that, or the opposite, you're a starter and the guy who's coming, you don't even like him. I've been on teams before where like there's other guys that like, that's not my favorite guy in the world. We're teammates, we have to be teammates. We have to love each other.
It's
let's
not
say
your
to make this
decision
work.
that you are in one team.
Yeah, that's hard, dude. That's super hard. And again, I just think it's like really, because you said before, like it really devastated you. And I feel like now as an older player, it happens to me less, or rather like I'm able to allow it to happen, absorb it, and just understand like, all right, it's okay that you're upset. You want me to play good. You want to feel good. That's okay. It's not our day. Let's be a good teammate. So like now it's like a great challenge I'm able to accept, where before I couldn't accept it. Now when I see younger players who react just like this, how many times I've seen like guy plays like shit, we won, and he's just on the bus, just kind of like has his headphones on or doesn't really want to talk. Like now I have, rather than me being mad at him, I have so much empathy because I've experienced it, where I'm like, oh, you just haven't learned that it's okay to play bad yet. So it's all good, man. Like for me personally, you know?
Yeah, and also we said in the last episode that for me is like, now I understand it. It's like more like a chess game, like a chess, playing
game.
chess.
Yeah.
And I can also understand that there are like different types of middle blockers, outside hitters, setters, and whatever. And not every style of playing is good for the tactic for the opponent. Like sometimes, like my style of playing, how I make decisions in blocking, how I move in block, my tempo of spiking, my directions, like favorite directions of spiking, etc., combined with the just the worst day, cannot fit like for the opponent that we are playing. And my friend who is on the bench can have completely like different style, and he can be perfect for the opponent middle blockers, opponent setter, and he can be perfect for this game. And this is also okay for me, and I understand it because I'm older and
do you
more
feel like
experienced.
a big difference? And I just want to say this. Let's move on in like 1 minute. We got to keep this going. We said we answer more questions.
Michał Szpak deserves like this question to have like 22 minutes.
Let me finish with this. Let me ask you: do you feel genuinely a big difference from when you were 22 to now being 48? Do you feel a big difference,
motherfucker,
in how you respond to those situations? Honestly,
yeah, for sure. But like the thinking about how I'm happy about the team and everything, I think it was the same, but I was more stressed like to perform good because I didn't have a, let's say, position in the Polish volleyball.
You wanted to make a name for yourself.
And I was so unsure like of what's my future, and I was still fighting for myself to find the space in this huge world of volleyball in Poland, that I was so not confident in everything. So I was more scared when I was playing bad, that I will just, this was like, I was thinking that, okay, when I play, this is my only chance to show my abilities in volleyball, my skills, and if I don't play good now, it's over. And this was my thinking. And right now, obviously, the end is not, the world is not ending if I play bad, and it's okay. We have 3 games in a week.
And we talked about this before. If you want to truly make peace with that, you should have a child. Get married and have a child.
Yeah, probably. Okay, I don't know if Michał is satisfied with this answer, but I would be if I'm him.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to second question, and it's from Juan. Juan is from
Colombia.
Colombia.
Oh yeah, dude.
¿Dónde está Colombia?
¿Dónde está
Finally.
Colombia?
¿Dónde está peligrosa?
Let's listen to Juan's question.
Hi, Kropa, Andre, and Taylor. My name is Juan. I'm a libero from Colombia, South America, and I have 2 questions for you guys. The first one is that if you have ever felt that you're not going to make it as a pro player or as a pro athlete, and how did you deal with that? And the second one is, how do you deal with your expectations and the results of your goals in life and also in volleyball? So that would be my 2 questions. Big fan of the show. Best show ever.
Right before he got arrested, apparently.
I saw the video. You just heard the question. There was a like helicopter flying,
but he was
police
really
helicopter
calm.
flying there.
He's really calm on this video.
He was robbing a bank for those of you just listening.
I have just 1 minute to ask you a question because I need to run. Yeah, great question. Kropa, maybe you will understand.
Can you ask the question again? Like, can you say it again?
You want me to play it again?
Yeah, just say it in your own words, like, because I don't know if I understood it.
Okay, so I think how do you feel like how would you feel if you don't know if you will go pro? Like if I think I just answered a little bit this question in this last few minutes. Like how would you feel?
Did you ever feel like you weren't going to be a pro? Like you couldn't go pro?
Like half of my life, because I signed the first serious contract in the first division, so the not Plus Liga, lower division, when I was 23. So I was in university for 4 years. I was just studying and enjoying volleyball. So I had also this huge dream to sign some contract in even the shittest team ever in Plus Liga, to be a 14th player. That was my goal, and it was more like a dream that you don't really feel like it will come true, you know. So I guess it was a really long time for me to even feel that it's slightly possible. So I feel like
I would love, just to try to help answer his questions, I would love to know, like, did you ever have a moment where we say like actualized, where you were like, I really want to play pro. I need to be doing more. I should do something. I really want to be a professional. Do you remember a moment or like a time where you were like, because you said I was just enjoying life. I wanted to play.
I just loved volleyball so much. Like I wasn't even thinking about money, contracts, World Cup, Olympic Games. I just loved to play. Man, that was the idea.
I resonate with that so much, because I had the same. I mean, to me, how could I answer this question? I was thinking about playing in university. And I've said this on other podcasts. I was kicked off of 2 teams, and like that was the second time where I was like, oh my God, it wasn't about playing pro. It's just like, I need so badly for volleyball to be a part of my life. And I think that's the gift and the secret is like, get lost in what you love. So if you really love volleyball, you shouldn't be thinking about like, just how can I go be a pro? It should, like for me at least, like growing up when I first found volleyball, it was just, how can I make every second of my day about volleyball? Basically, you know, like watching YouTube or trying to watch YouTube videos. And at that point it was just Bruno and Lucas highlights, or like, you know, like old Brazilian players and US players. Like it wasn't a ton on YouTube yet, but like playing beach volleyball every day or playing with my friends every day. I had so much fun. Not once did I think one day I'm going to be in the NBA, you know, or the Plus Liga, like never. Only until later on when it was like, almost like it came knocking, you know. I was like, oh yeah, what am I going to do when I graduate college? Oh, sweet, an agent. You know, I got lucky in that sense for sure. But what about you? I'm interested.
So you were just enjoying the journey. Like you didn't even know that this is the journey to which will lead you to be a pro in the end.
I mean, and I don't know about you guys, but like when I compare other things in my life, it's like almost nothing has compared to the love that I had for volleyball when I first found it, and was just like, this is all I want to do. And I think sometimes it fucks me up where nowadays I'm like, you know, we talk about editing videos or something, and I'm like, well, I don't feel like it, like I felt, you know, so how am I really going to do it? Or is it just going to be something I do for a week and stop doing, you know? It's really hard because all of us have that. Volleyball was that one thing I can imagine.
But it's not the same like with the first love of your life, like with your partner. Like when you feel it's different when you are like 35 and different when you are 18.
Yeah, I mean, you've experienced enough life maybe.
So the emotions to volleyball like 20 or 25 years ago were different than to the passions that I can find right now, like editing videos, doing podcasts.
Sure.
These are different emotions than this love that I have to volleyball.
That's true.
Yeah, and I think I said my story, so I will, like, long story short, like 1 year before everybody from my team was going pro, I broke my hand, and like all the season, which managers and directors, sport directors of the clubs are watching us while we are playing the competition, like Polish championship. I was on the bench, like with my broken arm, and I was just, I lost my hope. I was dreaming, like 1 year before, I was dreaming that, okay, this season I will show my skills and I will go pro, and I broke my arm. So I was, in my head, I was done. Like that, my adventure with volleyball finished, like in the pro level for sure is cancelled, and it will never happen. And luckily for me, some guys who are managing the teams in Plus Liga were watching me, like on the competitions, like 1 year before, when we won the bronze medal in youth championship, which was my second tournament as a middle blocker. Like my first one was 3 years before when we won the championship of Poland, and I was playing 2 weeks as a middle blocker. So they remembered me from that tournament, and they gave me a chance. Even when I healed my arm, I could go for the short camp to show.
But like when you were 15, we talked earlier, when you're like 15, 16, 17, were you at that point thinking about Plus Liga yet?
No, never. I was dreaming to go on the Plus Liga game.
And
for me, going to watch the volleyball was my dream, you know.
And to be honest, this is the advantage I feel like Polish players have is I just compare it to the NBA in the United States. Like your NBA was on TV when you were a kid. So you were watching Plus Liga when you were how old? When you watched your first Plus Liga game?
I think I was like 13, 14.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah, and you could watch it when you really loved volleyball, like, I don't know, 13, 14, 15, 16. Were you watching Plus Liga games like as much as you could, or like at least once a week? Or?
I think that time there was like one game a week.
Okay.
So you knew that this game, and usually it was like the best teams, like for sure Częstochowa or Kędzierzyn was playing against somebody.
And did you always watch? Like, did you watch the games?
This was the most.
I mean, what a huge advantage, you know? Like, and this is where I really feel for this guy who's in Colombia, which, at least to my knowledge, there's no professional men's volleyball league in Colombia.
I played with Colombian outside hitter.
Right, but is there a professional league in Colombia?
Is there? Like, you have to write in comments.
Write us in the comments. I don't know if there is, but if there is, it's not the Plus Liga, you know. So
sure.
And that's hard, and I deal with that. We dealt with that in the US too. It's like, man, it's so different when you can actualize your dream of playing professionally when you can see it, you can touch it. You're in Poland, the Plus Liga is here. You're playing for a young team, a club, something, you know, and like you can see it. I think it's so different where like for myself, I was like, I just love volleyball. How could I even think about going pro? In the US, 99% of the kids in the US don't know what Champions League is, don't know what the Plus League. It's crazy, you know? So that's so interesting.
It's
so
also
different.
difficult to watch Plus Liga, I think, in US, because it's blocked.
Yeah. And
It's blocked?
Yeah.
You need a VPN.
How is this possible?
I have to have
You need a
VPN. Like normally you cannot watch.
But imagine, guys, if your father was playing in Plus Liga or whatever, you feel like it's so normal and obvious to be a professional athlete and do the same thing that he does, right? So it's such a big handicap. Like, there's a lot of guys in the league who had fathers playing, and it's not a shortcut, and for sure they are talented, but it's easier to have this mental side on your side.
For sure.
No, because you spent your childhood on the hall watching your father practice, and like some guys right now they're bringing the kids to practice or we play after the games with our kids, and
it's just normal to play volleyball.
Like I hope my daughter will remember this. I try to play as long as she remembers. It will be so difficult.
Guess what? She's not going to remember, dude.
Oh wait, when is your last like memory from childhood? When you were like how old? Like 5 or 6 years old?
Oof.
So I need to play like 4 more years.
Fingers
Oh,
crossed.
I thought you were asking me. Thank God you weren't asking.
Not impossible.
What was the second part of his question?
And the second question,
just tell him, dude. We forgot the second question. Big fucking deal. Big fucking deal, dude. We forgot it, dude. I'm sorry.
Juan, mucho complicado.
mucho complicado, Juan.
Mucho complicado.
Por favor, cabrón, por favor.
Well, that's an interesting question. It was, was it about? I already forgot it again.
Expectations
about life
and the
goals.
Results of your roles in life and in volleyball.
Dude, to be honest with you, if I had to put myself, I'm just putting myself back in the times when I was like 18, 19, 20. I don't think I had expectations or goals, really. I don't think I had those until, that's why I spent so much time camping in the woods, dude, okay? Because like for so much of I was so privileged, dude. I was so lucky to just like, I love this thing so much. And when I put all of my focus and attention into the thing I loved, the opportunities just came. And I think there's something really special to that also, just to like really falling in love with the process of what you're doing. I also think it's, as I get older, I see where it's important to like have some structure, write down some goals. What do you want to achieve? Because it doesn't always come that easy. Some of us were lucky enough to just love the thing so much and opportunities came. And some of us weren't and have to write things down and accomplish those goals. I have to do that in other areas of my life, you know? So I think it's a balance, but I think ultimately...
I think this is the biggest difference between like me as an adult and me as a kid. Like that time I had no expectations at all. I was just enjoying my life, enjoying what I do, like going to school, meeting my friends, playing volleyball outside of the school, going on the tournaments, winning, losing. Like I was enjoying the time. Like I was enjoying life. There was not so many, like there was no
big pressure.
Not the internet was like starting to be a thing, but like there was like one computer in the school and where we could like play some games and that's all. So we were like spending times with friends, and yeah, I was playing on the court with my father after he was coming back from work, and playing basketball, football, swimming, like riding a bike, and I had no expectations. And right now my life is so much more that I could ever like imagine and expect, and even so much more that we had with my parents when I was a kid. And like I'm so happy that I can now like even, I don't know, buy tickets for my mom to fly for the game to Milan. Like I'm not from so like rich family. Like when we were going to Italy, we had like one holidays and we were driving by the car, like really small car, like packed fully till the roof, like with my brother and my parents, and we couldn't like buy a tickets for the plane. And right now it's completely different. So it's so much more than I've ever expected. And right now as an adult, I think like about the future of me, of my daughters and my family. And I think about so many things, how the future will look and how to like provide everything for them. And it's so different than it was like when I was a kid, and I was just enjoying the moment. And maybe that's also why I achieved, in my opinion, so much in volleyball, that I was just enjoying the process and the moments practicing and playing volleyball, not thinking what the future will look like.
And I would say in his case, I think it's maybe a combination of both. They're not two just completely separate things. Like I think there's some secret. There's a little sweet sauce in this idea of like falling in love with whatever you feel compelled. If it's volleyball, fall in love with the process. And if you genuinely love the process, good things come. And at the same time, write down some goals. You want to jump higher? How much higher? What are you going to do to get there? Write it down. Try to write. That's something I learned too, is like write a goal that I'm going to post my vlog by the end of the week. Fail. Okay,
but like, do you think money should be a goal also? Because I think maybe it's not good, but I think if getting rich by, for example, playing basketball or playing volleyball is your goal, is not so good. Like if you will achieve so much more just wanting to be a better player, like spiking better, I don't know, shooing better or whatever.
Dude, can I be honest?
Yeah.
I think that's not for me to say, because you hear a lot of like players in the NBA who came from really bad situations where maybe their mom had to raise, as a single mom, had to raise 4 kids and they had no money. And their motivation is, I need to make money. I'm bringing my family up. I need to make money. And that's a motivation for them. I think the part that you can't hide from is, whatever is your motivation, use that. It has to be genuine and authentic in order for you to use that motivation to cultivate something beautiful and a beautiful experience in your life.
It's just like a fuel every day.
Yeah, and to your point, it's like your motivation can start as money. And you get, how often do we see this, right? Like, I want to be famous. And then you see all these famous people now talking about how like, go be famous, because once you're famous, you realize that's not what you want. It's the same with money. Go be rich. Then you realize like that's not getting you complete happiness. Like,
and tell me, did you ever had this one friend in the youth that had a huge expectation and had a plan and actually achieved something straight to the point?
That's tricky. I don't
remember right now.
Yeah, because it's so hard when you're young to have this huge expectation. You just live in your life, and it's usually like this, right?
Enjoy it, man, because the older you get, the world gets more and more complicated, and there's all of a sudden plenty of like societal expectation and tons of expectation, and you have to learn as you become an adult how to like weed out, we say, like the bullshit, and realize like what is truly important to you. And if you want to know, go spend time in cabin in the woods.
La dolce vita.
We do one more question.
Yeah, should we do his? He did have a third one. I would say normally, hey guys,
we have one more from.
Let's keep it to one question in the future. Let's keep it to one question in the future. But
amigo,
he asked a
let's make
question.
people from Colombia happy.
Yeah.
Hi again, guys. I would like to add another question, not related to volleyball, but to life itself. So the question would be, what really touches you guys as humans? What are those situations or scenarios or experiences that makes you feel really sensitive and, really human?
Difficult show today, especially if I would be like one day in the woods. This would be too much for me.
This is too much for me. You want to start?
No, you should start, because now I think different things touch you that it was like 2 days before.
I mean, guys, it's only 24 hours. Not that much can happen in 24 hours. I don't know, man. I'll say this. I'm a really sensitive man.
Are you crying when you are watching like a good movie?
Yeah.
Or like
hell yeah.
When the dog is dying?
Dude, I cry when I see... So, for example, I'm watching this show called Kill Tony. It's a comedy podcast, and basically there's a professional comedian. He brings on some friends who are also professional comedians, and they bring on people randomly who sign up. They pull random names. They have 60 seconds to do comedy, and sometimes the people, it's their first time ever. Sometimes they're 10-year comedians. Sometimes they're everything in between, right? And sometimes you'll get a guy who it's like
an open mic, yeah?
Yeah, open mic, exactly. And if they bomb, he talk shit on it. Dude, the show is so raw. I love it so much. But you'll see a guy show up and he did incredible, and then all of a sudden the main guy will be like, do you want to open for me in a stage of 10,000 people? You did so good, open for me. And you'll just see this guy like, oh my God, a nobody. No one knew who he was. And now he has this huge opportunity. I'll start crying. This is a comedy show that they're talking shit and swearing and it's crazy. And I'll start at least being like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Look at that. And everyone in the crowd is standing ovation. I love those moments. I think they're so touching,
Yeah, I'm so simple guy also with in conditions of this, when I'm watching X Factor or America's Got Talent or Poland Got Talent,
great example.
Watching this Golden Buzzer or whatever, this girl, small girl, without parents and singing a song and going to the final, winning. This touched me. This touches me for sure. And I also think that because since I'm a father, I cry even more. I don't know, it's something clicked inside me while my daughter was born, and right now it's so much easier to make me cry with this small stories.
When she talks for the first time or walks to
this
you.
For sure, everything when she yesterday she started to sing a song there is a Peppa Pig, this cartoon for kids, and this is stupid song, but when she sings it, and I see her really when she's involved in the song, trying to make the moves and dance even, and with the expression of her face, and I watch her secretly. I'm sitting there drinking coffee, and she's performing just for herself and for the pigs that she put in front of her. And she's singing to them. It's my tears are going down so much.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, because maybe I can see her because for me, when I see her, this is all her life right now. This is everything she cares for, to sing for these pigs, and this is all her world, right now in this moment, and it's so beautiful and it's so pure, she has no other things in her mind. She's just performing to the small pigs that for her are her best audience at this moment. And she, every time she sings these songs, she's singing better, and she's developing the new skills, teaching, learning new words also, during she's singing, and watching her being maybe not a better person, but changing every minute, every hour. And this touches me for sure. But yeah, I'm a father, and this is the thing that makes me cry the most these days.
Yeah. What about you?
Man, I'm so emotional that it almost kills me every time. I have a funny story about the monk that Andrzej's friend, because I've been to his place also.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And the first sentence, he looked at me and he said, like, no, oh man, you tell me, is it true that when you're happy, it's like 100%, and if you're sad, it's also 100%, and you don't act in the middle, never. Nothing between. And I was like, yeah, basically that's true. He said, like, you cannot do it, never, because at that time, your soul is leaving your body, and because souls hate to be in this critical situation, like, 100% happiness or sadness, they need this like
balance,
decent level, and you need to keep it in the middle, man. I'm like, no, I cannot do it. I'm too emotional. You need to work about it, because something can come to your body when your soul is running away from you. And I'm like, what the fuck? If monks say these things to you, you need to think
about it at least.
So I'm a bit confused since then. I try to not be so happy and not be so sad, but it's my nature, and
that's interesting.
I just try to catch the soul when it's flying away.
Can I ask you guys a question? Are you afraid to cry in front of other people?
I think not anymore. I used to when I was a kid, for sure. Like,
because, dude, I'll be honest, like, it's something new to me. Like, imagine we're on the bus and you're just like crying, because even when I'm alone, I'll catch myself being like, I'm crying at America's Got Talent or something, and I like have this urge to cry, and I feel in my face like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. I'll catch myself being like trying not to, instead of being like, it's okay to cry at a stupid TV show. Like, that's something I'm learning. It's new to me. The idea of crying in front of,
it's not that stupid, because it changes people's life. Like, it's okay to be emotional when you see that somebody's life is changing so much.
Dude, 100%. I'm just saying I totally agree. And I am a big proponent of like trying to create an environment for other people where you can just 100% be yourself, because I feel like so much subconsciously in our environments, especially on a sports team, is like, men don't cry. Like, could you imagine crying at America's Got Talent if you're in a hotel room and your roommate is just like, I don't know, Yuri, or like just a teammate?
He would laugh so much.
Be like, what? Like, I would for sure be like, oh, you don't need to cry. Like, you don't need to cry. It's America's Got Talent, bro. Relax. Like, no one died. You don't need to cry. And what I'm learning now is like, who gives a shit, But it's hard. Is it not hard? I mean, you guys are making it sound like you guys are really sensitive, which is why I think our souls are so attracted to each other. But
it's for sure hard. But like, the question I want to ask you is, when did you last cry because of volleyball? Because I remember crying when we won the tiebreak in semi-final here in Torvar, and we went to the final of Plus Liga, and I was like, we go every time, like, we give high fives to the audience, like, around Torvar, and I was like going around, and I was crying like a baby, all the time, and giving high fives to people. Just all my emotions went out, and I was crying all circle, like, going around Torvar, giving fives, because it was my dream to go with to get the medal with Warsaw, and that time we knew that we have at least silver medal, and we will play in Champions League, and this was like the first time in Warsaw.
Crazy.
First time in Warsaw, right? Okay, right now we are all the time like, or close to the finals, or like playing playoffs, and that time, like, this was the first time Warsaw went to play for the medals, and for me as a guy from Warsaw, like, it killed me. Like, I was crying so much in front of full Torvar and giving high fives to people, and it was so emotional.
But I remember last year I was crying so much when we lost with Zaksa in the semifinals, and I was playing at the time, and I didn't expect that I will even have one tear, and it started like a waterfall. I was so surprised. I didn't know how to act and behave. I was standing right after the game in the middle of the court, and I didn't know if I should hide myself or be proud of these tears, So I was just sitting on a bench, putting my towel, and even the journalists were coming up to me and trying to make some interviews, and I was like, no, it's impossible. And I was just sitting for 15 minutes at least, and just waiting for everyone to go outside of the Torvar, that I could go easily to the locker room, that no one sees that I'm crying so much.
Yeah, and there is also an interview of me from that after that game that we lost, that when I'm like breaking during the interview, and like 2 days before I broke my back on the like last spike on the last practice because this was the third and the fourth game in Torvar. And yeah, I broke my back in the last spike. So I was like trying to do everything for 48 hours to be able to play. I took like huge painkillers, and I was able to, let's say, try to spike, but I was so drugged that I saw the lights, like, I don't know if you know this feeling that you can see the beam of lights that you are so like drugs.
Sorry, no.
Yeah. No, yeah. I know. So there is an interview, and I was like answering the question and telling what I feel, and like everything went out from me, and I broke like in front of camera, and I was crying there. So yeah, this was the last time I think I was crying because of volleyball.
Yeah.
And you, when was the last time you were crying because of volleyball?
Well, you're asking me, have I ever won anything in volleyball? One time. Yeah, when I won. Actually, what's really interesting is summer of 2021, I won for the first time since high school anything. Like won. And that was a big deal. And I cried like just with the team. Just like tears of joy, happiness. But like 3 months later, I cried because I didn't make the Olympics. And I remember sitting in the room and having them be like, we're going with someone else. And at the moment being like, all right, respect that.
But how it was like the all team was in one room?
Everyone is in their hotel. We're all like, let's say we're all the fourth floors, all our whole team. Everyone's in their own room. The coaches just go one room at a time. Oh, yeah. So maybe you hear like, yeah, or maybe you don't hear anything. Or dude, it's intense. And I mean, it's the only time I experienced it. And I ruptured my plantar fascia in the semifinals before we won in Cannes. And so I had 1 week of like training. I took like 4 weeks off, and on the 4th, 5th week, I like slowly, jump a little bit today, tomorrow, Thursday. And then 3 days later, we left for Rimini to go play in VNL. And it's like, now I have to prove that after coming off the best season I've ever had in my life, like I was feeling invincible. Ruptured my foot, came back. They went with someone else, and I was devastated. I was like, no, like so mad. Like, how did this happen to my foot? Like, I still thought I played like what I still thought I should have, like, like all of us, we all think we should go. Like, I definitely I took that really hard. And I had friends who didn't make it also who took it really hard. And that was the last time that volleyball like really made me.
And cry. When you lost the quarterfinal in Olsztyn twice, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Because it was in the 5th game, so
yeah, I guess like maybe I will say like there's something, and I think it's maybe different than how you experience it being a Polish player playing in Poland, but like there's something about like airports that make me cry. Like, so every time, like when I leave Warsaw and go back home, I'll probably have that moment of just like, oh my God, like the chapters, and because it feels so crazy, like you just completely leave your world, how you speak, how you just completely leave, and you get dropped off here. Like you jump out of the plane, you pull the parachute, you land in Warsaw, you're here for a couple months or 8 months or however long. Season finishes, it's a roller coaster. I got injured, and then I'm going to play in the...
And we know how difficult it is, even if you have friends, new friends, and you spend with them like every day, like 8 hours, and you go on a trips, and you sleep in one hotel, you practice together, you spend all the days together, and after like this one season, you could say like, okay, let's keep in touch, let's still be friends, and then you go and you have like another world, another team, another 100%. People, and it's so difficult to like keep these friendships going. And
for example, I'm going to see Matteo Piano. We play Monza. He plays in Milan. When I played in Milan, I was like, this is my new best friend. We are so close, and we don't talk every day anymore. But when I played in Milan, I was like, you're my best friend for life. To this day, I love him so much, but we rarely get to talk. So this will be the first time I've seen him in years. Nice. I'm so excited. But yeah,
it's today, it's Tuesday.
I can't keep up with all these lies. Yeah. So
we would love to know, when was the last time you cried because of volleyball? Yeah. You can write in comments, because this is a thing that really interests me.
Yeah, and I just want to say we're probably done. Are we gonna do one more?
Yes, no, we are done.
Let's be done. We didn't do. I was hoping we would do 3 people's questions.
We did 3 questions.
We did 4 questions.
4 questions.
4 questions of 2 people.
That's right.
And finally, Michał Szpak is out of our list. But you can send another question, Michał. please don't give up.
And also, I just want to say how grateful I am for you too, dude. I think it's really cool to be around other dudes who are sensitive. You know, and like it's so funny to hear you, Krobus, say that. Like,
why?
No.
It's
To say
obvious,
that
man.
to say that you would be like someone to cry, because I feel like you're too tough. Like I couldn't imagine seeing you cry in front of me and being like, yeah, I'm crying. So that's really cool. We don't know each other that well, obviously, yet.
I see him many times while we are speaking like face to face about some really deep shit, and he's like really easy getting his eyes wet and red and like
feel
on the
so bad.
balancing or on the border, like, but I'm the same.
Yeah.
It's really easy even when I'm speaking with a guy, and it's okay. It's okay to cry. And because it's Tuesday and I hope we are winning today the cup, I promise you that I will cry if we win it.
Let's cry together, guys.
Let's do 5 seconds here on air. Visualize ourselves winning right now.
Man, I'm doing this every day for like last, I don't know, 2 months maybe since we started our competition. I should shut up.
Such a good day. Such a good feeling. Guys.
Okay, I take it back. Let's not do that. Let's do right now, first person to cry, go. No, I'm just kidding.
See you guys next week.
Yeah, buddy.